Hello and welcome to another edition of the Ag+Bio+Science podcast, where we look at the convergence of food, science, and technology and the dramatic impact occurring now and in the future in the state of Indiana. Our guest on this edition is Scott Hutchins. Scott is Global Leader of Research and Development at Corteva Agriscience. Corteva is the ag division formed with the merger between Dow Chemical and DuPont. And Scott, welcome.
Thank you, Gerry. It's a pleasure to be here.
First of all, tell us a little bit about you, Scott, your background, a little bit of your history.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm an entomologist by training, PhD at Iowa State University, and I've been with Dow AgroSciences since my career began in 1987 as a field scientist. Been through a number of roles, and so excited about this new merger with DuPont and Dow. Yeah. Which will create really the only standalone U.S.-based company for agricultural products that will serve customers globally.
Yeah, before we get into that, because a lot of people are talking about it, the impact here in Indiana will be substantial as well. But in terms of some of your various roles, you've been at Dow AgroSciences for a long time now. Talk about some of the roles you've had at the company.
Excellent. Well, as I said, I started as a field scientist, and I had the opportunity then to actually move into human resources, right when Eli Lilly and Dow Chemical at the time created a joint venture called Dow Elanco based in Indianapolis. And had the great opportunity to participate in the formation of that new company and see it develop and grow and participate with that. After that role, I moved into roles in global product development, had a hand in helping develop globally some very exciting insect management technologies, biologics such as spinosad and spinetoram and Centricon, which are some of our termite-based programs. And then I've been in various program management roles and management roles since that time. The last role I had in the former Dow AgroSciences was as the overall leader for R&D. And now within Corteva Agriscience, I'm the leader of the field science function and the R&D leader for the crop protection business platform.
All right, let's talk about Corteva Agriscience. Certainly Dow AgroSciences has been a big part of the Indianapolis business community, the Indiana community for a number of years. We could probably spend a long time talking about this, but talk about what we can expect once Corteva Agriscience really becomes reality.
Well, what we can expect is a lot more of the same. I mean, this is one of the two major research-based cities and areas for Corteva Agriscience, and we will conduct research. We are conducting research on the crop protection business exclusively, but also we have a hand in a lot of the seed and the trait discovery activities based in Indianapolis. So this facility in Indianapolis, which has been here since the early 90s, has been rebuilt, re-engineered, and retooled several times as agricultural technology has changed, and we've just recently completed that as well. So we're set up to really be the state-of-the-art facility, which will attract new talent as well as new capabilities in Indianapolis.
Anytime there's a merger or a change in structure, there's always concern about what's next. But what you're saying here is this new company, this new organization, really there's going to be a big focus that will continue to be placed on Indianapolis and Indiana when it comes to the future of the company.
Absolutely. This is an R&D-based company, and this is an organization that's built on growth and growth in agriculture. And so the Indianapolis site and Indiana in particular will be a growth engine for us in terms of developing the technologies, the capabilities that we need for the long term. And we have great partnerships with Purdue, with AgriNovus Indiana, and other organizations that allow that synergy to actually be stronger than it would be alone.
As you look at opportunities for growth, and obviously it's very early in the game, but you mentioned AgriNovus, you mentioned Purdue, assets like that, do those kind of synergies and potential partnerships really add to the prospect of future growth?
Yeah, they really do, because they create a network and they create a critical mass and they create an endorsement for agriculture and agricultural technology and biosciences. And so that whole ecosystem, if you will, works together to really build the opportunity for Corteva Agrisciences to have a very strong root system here in Indianapolis, but also around the world where we can build on relationships that start here.
How about more broadly in the world of agriculture and agribusiness, the Ag+Bio+Sciences consolidation, is occurring? Kind of give us your view of the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. It has consolidated, but one thing to keep in mind is that most of those consolidations have been buyouts, right? Bayer purchased Monsanto, China purchased Syngenta. This is a true merger. Corteva Agriscience is a true merger. It's a merger of equals. And so we were really benefiting from the opportunity to develop that into a different kind of organization that works to develop integrated solutions. Just as an example, the R&D leadership team has 12 functions within that. 7 of those 12 functions really work for both the crop protection business as well as the seeds and traits business, and they're fully integrated within that context. I think we're the only company really that has that kind of integration, which gives us the opportunity to build integrated solutions for farmers to manage their different kinds of challenges around the world.
As you look at the talent issue, and whether it's the Ag+Bio+Sciences or manufacturing, whatever the sector is, everybody's talking about talent. And how can we attract and keep a talent? As you look at the talent pipeline and the ability to attract and keep talent here in Indiana, your thoughts?
Well, I'm a bit biased because I've been in this city for a long time, so I think this city is a great drawing card in and of itself, and this state is a great drawing card. But I think, again, the network that we have with Purdue just down the road, with other universities that are fantastic and a number of other areas that are relevant to agriculture, IU and others, it gives us the opportunity really to build a critical mass and to build a talent magnet within the Midwest for folks who really will enjoy and be able to put their roots down here. And we've been very successful actually in former Dow AgroSciences, and I'm sure in Corteva, at retaining our talent, not just attracting talent. So we're very competitive, and we are an employer of choice without a doubt.
As you look at Indiana as a state in terms of its focus on the Ag+Bio+Sciences now, and your time in Indianapolis and in Indiana, do you think the state, and with organizations like AgriNovus, kind of putting more focus on agriculture and the Ag+Bio+Sciences because of the assets here? So in other words, I guess, is the focus beginning to shine a little more brightly in this area, and how do you think that might impact the future of the company?
I think it is for certain. And I also would say, too, that while people have different paradigms or perspectives on what agriculture is, it really has changed over the last really 10 years and changing at a very rapid pace. And while we talk about biosciences and biology, there are a number of sciences that are really part of agriculture today. Engineering, if you think about what drones will be doing, and automated applications and those kinds of things, it really is changing its focus in many ways and integrating biology, chemistry, engineering, and all kinds of sciences. And so this state is very strong in all of those, and it allows us the opportunity really to leverage those different sciences and skills.
Yeah, and it's interesting, the National FFA organization just announced what I thought was a pretty interesting initiative. I think they call it the Blue Room, where they're going to expose and shine a light on all of these different kinds of areas, careers that are now part of agriculture.
Absolutely, and at that announcement, I think it also was made that Corteva is going to be a platinum sponsor or a signature sponsor for that, and it's just a tremendous opportunity because, as I say, agriculture and agriculture for the youth coming into these areas of science is going to be quite different than it was when I entered the field, and that's very exciting. The Blue Room is just a super cool concept, and Corteva Agriscience is proud to be a part of that, working closely with FFA.
Okay, in terms of the timeline now, this has been talked about, a lot of back and forth for a long time. When can we see things officially kind of roll out with Corteva? Well,
the merger closed, the larger merger between Dow and DuPont closed on September 1st, and the three primary companies as part of that merger of equals is working to what they call stand up and then spin out. And that will occur into the first half of 2019. And we're projecting somewhere around early June for when Corteva Agriscience will spin out and to be a standalone ag company, really one of the only in the world and the only U.S.-based one.
Very exciting to think about the future and what Corteva Agriscience might mean for Indiana and for Indianapolis. Scott Hutchins is the global leader of research and development at Corteva Agriscience. And Scott, thanks for being on the podcast this time around. We look forward to having you on again.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And thank you all for joining us on this edition of Ag+Bio+Science, a podcast where we really focus on food science and technology and the dramatic impact those areas are having on Indiana. I'm Gerry Dick. We'll see you next time.
This podcast is a product of Inside Indiana Business, hosted by Gerry Dick. Produced by Libby Fritz and Joe Ullery and was recorded on location at Launch Fishers. More people get Indiana business news from Inside Indiana Business than any other source.